Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today what I'm going to be doing is just talking about my coming out story, because I figured it would be a good thing to do since it's National Coming Out Month, and it'll be nice for me to revisit this kind of memory that's been locked away back here in my occipital lobe, because, you know, why not? It's a big step and it's National Coming Out Month, and why not bring out a memory that makes me me? So without further ado, let's get into the story. So I came out four and a half years ago to my mom, and mind you, I come from a very religious Christian family down in northern Georgia, like an Appalachian chain of mountains, and I lived for a lot of my life in Chickamauga, Georgia. And I've always known since the tiniest age that I could have any memory recollection, and my brain was cognitively developed enough to have a memory that I was gay. I knew that 100% in my heart of hearts, always known it. But I dated this girl. Her name will remain nameless. Her name was let's say
Kelly.
So Kelly and I dated for I think a couple of months, and we went to prom together and blah blah blah. And she wanted to go a little further with physical intimacy, and at that point all we had done was like kiss on the lips, like that's it. There was no making out, there was nothing, because I knew in my heart of hearts, but I was like I was like, maybe I do like girls, you know what I mean, like, because in like middle school and high school I was like, maybe I do like girls, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. But knowing that I didn't, you know what I mean, just trying to validate it to myself, because I was, you know, and still am Christian, so I was like, maybe, at that point I was, but, and then she was upset one day, and was like, oh, I'm just kind of upset because, like, I want to get more, like, physically intimate, and as soon as she said that, literally as soon as she said that, I broke up with her. That might sound dramatic, and that's probably the queen coming out of me, but, like, that's exactly what I did. So I broke up with her, and I said, you're gonna find a great person in college and stuff like that, because she was going off to college, because I was 2 years younger than her. I was a sophomore in high school, and she was a senior in high school. And we ended up just breaking up, and then I sent my mom down the following summer, because I broke up with her in the spring semester of my sophomore year. Oh, wait, yeah, of my sophomore year. And then my senior year of high school, fast forward, I come out to my close group of friends, and I surrounded myself with a close group of friends to where I know they wouldn't care. Like, they were extremely open-minded and liberal and stuff like that, so I knew they wouldn't care, whatever. And that was good to have that support system. So I called up my friend, I don't know if he wants to be named, but let's just say
Bob.
His name's Bob. And I called him one night and I said, I'm gonna come out to my mom tomorrow, so, like, could you, just in case, like, you know how religious my mom is, like, just in case something happens, like, I know your mom and dad's fine with, like, you know, the gay community and stuff like that, because they knew that I was gay and stuff, because my friend Bob told them that I was, and they were like, oh, if he needs anything, just tell him, you know, to call us, which was very nice to have that support system there just in case something did happen. So I called him the night before and I said, could I maybe, like, stay in your basement if something happens and I get kicked out? Because I was just thinking of the worst case scenario. And he was like, yeah, he was just like, no problem and stuff like that, really supportive. So I sent my mom down the next day at our dining room table, and I say, do you remember when I broke up with
Kelly?
And I told you that it was because, yeah, I knew it wasn't going to work out because she was going off to college, and I didn't really want to put that, you know, time commitment into it, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, and she was like, yeah, I do remember. She loved Kelly, and, like, she loved Kelly. And well, and I told her, I said, well, that wasn't the reason. And she was like, well, what was the reason? And I said, well, it was because she was wanting to get more physically intimate than I was wanting to. And we kissed, we, like, did the smooch one time, and I wasn't feeling it. And then she wanted to go even further one time, and I broke up with her as soon as she said that she wanted to, because I'm not attracted to women. That's what I said. But this kind of look went over her face when I told her about it. And she was just like, just a lot of emotions went to her mind, I could tell, and she started crying, and I was like, wow, am I hurting my mom? But in my heart of hearts, I'm like, no, I'm not hurting my mom. She's just going through a situation that she's never went through or had to go through before, which I understand. because she just was ignorant to the gay community and she didn't know, you know, all of it and stuff like that. And her being it's super uber religious that she is. Remind you, like, I'm Christian, fully religious, practicing Christian. I don't think one bit that God would not make me gay, that God would make me gay and say, no, it's wrong. I don't think he's like that at all. He made me this way, and I know he made me this way for a reason. It makes me Justin, you know what I mean? It made me me. But she, you know, didn't go off or anything. She was like, are you bi and stuff like that? I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm like, I don't like women at all. She was like, but you like say they're so pretty and stuff like that. Like, you love Gisele Bündchen from the, you know, the model from Brazil, on Taxi, you know, with Queen Latifah. I'm like, yeah, like I can say, like, I can admire the beauty of something and not be physically attracted to it and the physical attributes of that person, you know what I mean? And she was like, yeah, that is true. She was coming from a spot of ignorance because she thought that it would be like, your risk of HIV and AIDS are much higher. You're going to be harassed. You're going to be bullied. It's going to be hard to get a job. All of these things, you know, she told me. And I was just like, I'm like, well, if you think it's a choice, because that was her, hold on. And I said, well, if you think it's a choice, then why would I choose to be a part of a minority group that is at higher risk of getting HIV and AIDS, that's being at higher risk of being harassed, bullied, and it's harder to get a job? These things are just simply not true anymore. There are preventative actions to go through for these things, like if you, in terms of like caution about AIDS and HIV. It's not a thing about like hard to get a job, really. Like, to me, I've never really encountered it, but I'm sure it does happen. But it's nothing like it was in comparison to when she was growing up, when she was a kid and when she was growing up. She would, she told me, she was like, let's go get prayed for. And I told her, I was like, no, I was like, I know what you want me to go get prayed for, and I'm not going to do it. I'm sorry. I didn't say I'm sorry. I was just like, I refuse to go do that. You know what I mean? And she respected that enough, and she said, okay. You know, she was trying for me to go, and I'm like, That's basically my coming out story with her. And then she, after 4.5 years, I still can't really sit down and talk to her about my relationship. She'll ask about Igor, but I can't be like, oh, he's so handsome, he's so sweet, you know, he's the best person I've ever had, he's so amazing. I can't sit down and talk about the relationship itself. She just asked about him, you know, occasionally as a person, not in relation to us being, you know, boyfriend and boyfriend. So, which is kind of hard for me because, like, I want to be able to share those things with my mom. And I want you to know 100% that when you live your life authentically you, and you live your life for you and only you, then you are going to be so happily, mentally, in your body. It's just going to be a breeding ground for so many great things when you live your life for you and only you. And saying, I see you have an opinion, but I have my own opinion of my life, what I want to do with my career. I know who I am sexually. I know who I am as a person. You know what I mean? Do you, and don't let people try to sway your opinion of you. And if you have any questions and you just want to talk and you're in the closet and I want to reach out and hug you and say that if you are in the closet or if you came out and you're having a hard time and, you know, whatever the situation may be, just inbox me or send me a message on Facebook or my, you know, Instagram or Twitter, whatever you want to do, and I can talk. I will talk to you and help you through this time because I know what it's like. I am here, and I want you to know that there are people out here rooting for you. We're all rooting for you as entire beings, and we're all here for you, and welcome to the community, and I love you. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.